Welcome back. Now, before we get to the all-important inflation print, let us tell you how will all of the overnight cues and how the markets are set up ahead of that. Our research team is joining in with how the trade setup looks like, the stocks that are likely to be in the news, and the setup on the F&O side of things as well. First up, Vivek joins in to get all the market cues you need to watch out for. Vivek, good morning. A very strong handover coming in from the Nasdaq, but what's the setup looking like here?
Good morning. That's right. Nasdaq, very strong handover above the 20,000 level for the first time. The inflation data has set the stage for another rate cut. Now, talking about US markets, the mixed cues, of course, given the fact that there was a strong handover from Nasdaq, Dow actually underperformed. When you're talking about oil prices yesterday on the back of some news developments, you actually saw a bit of a spike as far as the oil prices were concerned. Brent high by almost 1.8%, now hovering around the $73.5 a barrel mark. But let's come to the Indian markets. Indian markets yesterday largely flat, range-bound session. And when you're talking about the broader end of the markets, that is where the outperformance continued, and it continues quite significantly, especially in the month of December is concerned. On the back of that, you saw the market breadth in favor of the bulls, in favor of advances. Now, talking about what actually did well, you saw the IT pack, especially in the last hour of the session, doing quite well. But on the other hand, the banking pack, the Nifty Bank Index, the PSU Banking Pack, all of them yesterday underperformed. In fact, the PSU Banking Index saw quite a bit of profit booking emerge. Today, quite a lot of cues that we need to keep an eye out for. A couple of very large block deals, clean out trail in Nuvama as well as Newland Labs. So that'll be something that the market looks forward to. Asian markets, GIFT Nifty, all indicating largely flattish start for our own markets today.
Block deals, IPOs, there is plenty of action beyond the benchmark indices as well. Vivek, thanks a lot for that. Over to Vamakshi now. List out the stocks you need to watch out for. Vamakshi, good morning. What's on your list?
Well, good morning, Hormaz. Let me first start off with Reliance Power. ARM Reliance New Suntech has won 930 megawatt solar energy contract with battery energy storage system project from SECI. Acme Solar Holdings has bagged a 250 megawatt firm and dispatchable renewable energy, that is an FDRE project from NHPC at a tariff of 4.56 rupees per unit. And this project also includes a green shoe option to upsize the capacity from 250 megawatt to 500 megawatt. Bari Energies is the next one we'll be watching out for. They've received an LOA for the development of 170 megawatt solar power plant in Madhya Pradesh from Reva Ultra Mega Solar. Nuvama Wealth Management is the next counter we'll be watching out for. So sources suggest that Edel Finance, ECAP Equities are likely to sell nearly 7.1% stake in the company via block deals at a floor price of 6,800 rupees per share, valuing the deal at 1,734 crores. And this trade is likely to be a clean-out trade. Sammaan Capital, the board has approved fundraising via a QIP up to 2,500 crores. Grasim is the next one we'll be watching out for because the board has approved fundraise of nearly 2,000 crores via NCD on private placement basis. Greaves Cotton has approved OFS for certain equity shares of its arms Greaves Electric held by the company in the proposed IPO. Gopal Snacks, a significant fire accident took place in its factory in Rajkot, Gujarat. Varroc Engineering, the Singapore tribunal has passed an order. The order has been passed in favor of Best Motors and against the company, and therefore the order has asked the company to transfer 50% stake in Varroc TYC Corp to Best Motors for nearly 310.5 yuan. Gland Pharma has received US FDA approval for phytonadione injectable emulsion. Vedanta, a board meeting is scheduled on December 16. They will be considering an interim dividend out here. And lastly, keep an eye out on Indian Overseas Bank, and that is because they've received an order of refund of nearly 808 crores from the Income Tax Department for assessment year 2013-14.
Vamakshi, thanks a lot for that. Keep an eye out on all of these names. And lastly, Mangalam joins in with cues from the F&O space. Mangalam, good morning. The weekly expiry today, it still remains in the range, but what's the setup looking like now?
Well, it is in the range. Like you pointed out, the frontline indices in a range, the action is beyond the broader markets. And if you look at the Nifty move yesterday as well, all of 31 points. But that's not the bigger story. The bigger story is that the Nifty's high and low yesterday had a difference of just 108 points. That's the lowest range that we've seen in at least the last 4 or 5 sessions. If you look at it, the range has been narrowing between that 150, 160 odd points over the last 3-4 trading sessions. Typically, this narrowing of range happens ahead of a big move on either side. So we'll keep an eye out on that. My sense is that big move could be on the upside. And the reason why I say that is after 3 days of making lower lows, yesterday the low on the Nifty was higher than the previous day's low, 24,583. This compares with 24,511. In the cash markets, the FIS sold yesterday about 1,000 odd crores, but that's an anomaly this month because this is the third instance of them selling this month as against the 7 instances that they bought itself. In index futures, no real problems. They've been selling a little bit after covering a lot of the shorts, so 43% long exposure is what we have. Weekly options expiry. The option writers are positioned for a market in the range. 24,650 is the option which is most active, which is both the call and the put. So those who are writing this straddle, which is one call and one put together, are playing for a premium of 120 rupees. They would be in the money only if the Nifty is between this 24,530 to 24,770 sort of range in today's trading session. And that's what, the option writers are positioned for this weekly options expiry. Just keep an eye out on Hindustan Copper. That stock has entered F&O ban in yesterday's session.
Interesting, Mangalam. Thanks a lot for that. Now, all the all-important